Hi, I'm Alice.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
And we're live! You know what, this says episode 59, but I think this is 58. Because I think we got one behind when you were on vacation, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Either way, we won't say what number it is. Welcome to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. An episode, yes. The best episode you'll ever hear.
That'll be 100.
100? Man, I can't wait.
I know. That's crazy.
So before I hit record, I was just saying that Traders is over, and even though it was a crazy season, I was very satisfied with the ending.
That's exciting.
It kind of like, it was like, it's going to go this way, it's going to go this way, and it went the way I wanted it to go, so.
Oh, good. Well, don't spoil it. David's about to be gone for a week and a half, so I will be up today.
See, will you be up to date today, or just, you'll take the whole week?
Not today, but I'm gonna, because my new purchase arrived, and I have to get it set up, so I'm pretty excited.
You gotta do your lips like this when you walk.
Do you want to know what random thing I started using? I got influenced and I'm ashamed.
Is it a little roller thing for your face?
No, mouth tape when you sleep.
What?
Oh my god, it's amazing. I sleep so much better.
I mean, you're supposed to breathe through your nose.
I know. The mouth tape is real breathable, which that was what I was like, I don't understand how this works. Like, I'm going to suffocate. It's insane. Like, all the things were like, oh, it'll like snatch your... I'm like, I don't care about that. I just sleep like crap. And so I was like, you know what? It's like $8.
Where does the drool go?
I don't drool. That I know of.
I'm a drooler, obviously.
Well, so the ones I have, like, there's no little hole in the middle, but they make some that have like a little hole in the middle.
Like to stick a straw in?
Yeah. Or I guess your drool could come out. I don't know.
So what's the point of it? I don't understand. Why does it make you sleep better?
I don't know. But I was like, I can try to sleep better for $8. So I was like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. David laughs at me.
I would laugh too, yes.
But I'm like, you know what? You're the one not sleeping well now, so. Yeah.
Problem is, you don't get drunk enough before you go to sleep.
I don't really drink anymore. Like, I had some wine yesterday, but I only had like a glass of wine, which for me.
Very moderate, yeah.
Yeah. So we really don't drink anymore.
No, I get it. We've talked about it before. I get
know.
It. Yeah.
I feel so much better.
You got me hooked on box wine, and then you left me.
Oh, no, I still have my box of wine. But, we just, I don't know. Now, I did drink at SKO.
Well, you have to there, like to cope, right? It's a coping mechanism.
Yes, so that I can be bubbly.
Yeah, I kind of use alcohol the same way. Like, I'm naturally introverted, so...
So for social things, it makes it easy.
But I'm really careful with work people, though, because I don't want to go too far the other direction.
Oh, same, yeah. Yeah.
So.
Like, I don't... Oh, this is going to sound rude. Like, when I'm drinking with coworkers, like, depending on who I'm with, tells me my limit. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if I was drinking with you, I could just... It wouldn't matter. But if
we
I
could
was
smash together?
Yeah. But then if I was drinking with, like, my boss, who runs our company...
You might be... you might not get
I probably don't need to have 10 vodkas.
No, I get it. That's just responsible drinking.
Yeah. Or even, like, if I'm out drinking with, like, the people that report to me. Like, I try to...
Yeah. I think you and I have talked about this privately before, but I feel like at work events, sometimes there's those people that don't get to get out and have a good time and day to day. So when they're at a work event, they just let loose, and it's usually not a good idea.
Yeah. But I try. If I know the people, though, I'm a little more open. But And also just like, I don't like waking up hungover anymore.
Yeah, there's that.
So, yeah.
I find the older that I'm getting, the more hungover you get, or I get.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even like in Vegas for SKO, I had a bit of a hangover one of the days. The other days I didn't drink that much. There was only one day where I was like, ugh. So.
Yeah, totally get it. So did you hear the ServiceNow news this morning?
No, I've been busy this morning.
I've been actually doing work. They're acquiring Moveworks.
Oh, really?
Which is, I'd heard of it before, but I guess it's a agentic AI company that like takes all the coding and development out of it, so you can like plug and play, drag and drop, low code, no code.
That's awesome.
So they're acquiring it, and it's supposed to close in the second half of 2025 for $2.85 billion. Billion with a B.
I need to build something that someone wants to buy.
Yes, for billions. Yes.
Billions.
Me too.
I could live very well on billions of dollars.
I can be millions. I'll be fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even being greedy, but a couple million. Yeah.
I can put that in an investment account, and I'll live off the interest.
My dad used to be a stockbroker, and he gets me tons on my 401k. So I'd be like, hey, go invest. Because I don't understand all that stuff that he does. He used to try and teach me, and I wish I would have listened, but I didn't. So yeah. I
know enough to let the professionals do it.
Yeah.
But I did spend probably 5 of my 20s years. I said that 5 years of my 20s, like messing around with dividend reinvestments and fake playing stocks to see if I can. And I just realized I don't have time for this.
What's that app, Robinhood or whatever?
Robinhood wasn't around when I was messing around with it, but I have Robinhood. I just don't have any money in it.
Yeah. I have stocks from a previous job that I should probably just sell because they send me dividend checks every quarter and it's like $15.
As much.
Well, we got new furniture in our bedroom. This is a little embarrassing, but it's fine. We got new nightstands and dressers for our bedroom. And I was cleaning out my nightstand. And when we moved, it was one of those I'm just putting crap in this drawer and I'll deal with it later situations. And I found 3 of my dividend checks that hadn't been cashed. And David was like, well, we were hurting for that $45. Yeah. It's So.
If only you had cashed them, life would be so much better.
Know.
I would recommend, this is me, if I would roll those stocks into a IRA. So it's tax protected. You earn that $15 will just get reinvested and grow.
I don't know. You gotta show me later. I have 24 stocks.
Big time.
Well, the company I worked for, they were new because they were part of one large entity and they spun off, and it was natural gas, and one did residential utility and the other stuck with downstream, upstream. So I was new, so every time the stock went up $1, they gave everyone in the company a stock. And then when it hit a certain point, that was over. So I was there, they went up $24. So.
Gotcha. What do you think ServiceNow stock is right now? Don't Google it. I've pre-Googled it for you.
$700.
$792, yeah, really good. Wow. You're much more aware than I thought.
I am. Well, I have friends that work there, and they give their bonuses in stocks. So.
Oh. It was doing really good at the beginning of the year, and then, as you know, the situation is bad here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah. What's been interesting, actually, is I think most people know Crossviews has a Canadian entity, a U.S. entity, and a UK and I entity. And we've been checking in with our Canadian people to be we know things are not great between us. And most of the companies have been you have a Canadian entity and that's what we care about. But it's a real thing.
Yeah.
They're, yeah.
For the record, I love Canadians.
I do too. I love visiting Canada. If I didn't have a 6-year-old, I would move to Canada. I already have people that said they would be my sponsorship.
Oh, they do the same thing up there? Like you get sponsored to be a citizen?
So, yeah.
My familiarity with Canada is through CrossViews, because we have lots of Canadian people. And then there's a show on TV where it's like at the Vancouver airport, people trying to get drugs and stuff through. Yeah, that's my exposure to it.
I might need to watch that.
It's like the one I saw yesterday. The guy tries to bring in bags of sugar, and bags of sugar look like something else. Yeah, and it's just like, why? Just buy the sugar once you get to Canada. Like,
so I used to, whenever I was like real diligent with my working out, which I'm getting better again. I used to bring I would take my protein powder and put it in the tall skinny bags. Mm-hmm. And then I would put my pre-workout in tall skinny bags. And then I would because I'd have them portioned out for all the days. Because I used to travel 3 weeks out of the month. And so I was like, I can't just sit in hotels and eat fast food and not do something. And it never dawned on me until one day, a TSA, I was like, what is all of this? I was like, it's just protein and pre-workout. He was like, it looks like drugs. I'm like, I didn't think about that. Or I would have never packed it because I had anxiety. He started laughing. It was like, it's fine. It was too obvious for it to be drugs.
That's this situation. Yeah, I was like, This is so obvious. And it must not be drugs.
I truly was like, I didn't even think about it. So.
Yeah. I thought we had an agenda. I'm running behind today. Let me see.
That's fine.
Because we didn't get to some stuff the last time we recorded, remember? And there was 2 things on there. I think both of you and I were excited about talking about. Let's see.
I think there were, yes. And then we talked about us.
Oh, your AI prompts and your personal usage of it. Yes, you got to fill us in.
So, I have found that prompts are key.
That's right. It happened again last week.
Yes, it did. And so last week, I was trying to put together, hopefully this doesn't make me sound like a bad professional, but I was putting together a quote and I was like, I don't love how it sounds. Let's see if we can, polish it a bit. And so what I put in did not help it at all. So I asked Justin, how do I? And he was like, add in your role and what you're trying to convey. And so I did all that and I cleaned it up just lovely. And it sounded way better. It still sounded like me, but it polished it a bit.
Right.
Which is what I liked. Because I put in what I wrote and was just like, can you clean? I think I said, can you polish this or something? Because I put who I was, what I was trying to convey, what I wanted out of it. And I was like,
And then any limits. If you're once you start working with enough, and you could be be succinct, don't be verbose.
Yeah. No, I just said this quote.
So have you used it on your own since then?
I don't think I have since then, but I have a couple things I need to do that I will be using it for. And so that version of AI I like because it's building efficiencies and just helping because I sometimes get wordy and I have to scale myself back because sometimes I feel like I have to over explain depending on who I'm talking to. But then I'm like, if I assume they don't know, they may not ask because they don't want to say they don't know. But if I over explain, they might think I'm condescending. So, yeah.
I have this, it's a verbal tick that I use. I actually use it on purpose. I'll cut myself short of explaining and then I'll say, does that make sense? And I'll say it different ways, but it's meant to be my way of, do I need to be more verbose? Do I need to say more?
So I do that, but 99% of the time people just say yeah. And then the next day, it's I've never spoke to them before. And so what I started saying back when I ran workshops would be I'm going to over explain. If you already know, tell me to stop and I will cut it short. Yeah. And no one ever told me to cut it short. But I do still check and I'm now does that make sense so far? And if people are silent or don't have their cameras on, I'm So everything I explained was perfect because I am that great at explaining this.
Yeah, you and I are very similar.
No one said anything, and they're all like, "Well."
Because after this, that story's done, and we're gonna write. We're gonna.
Oh no,
that
I
story.
do joke. I'll be like, because we're not changing this. This is your only shot, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "This is it. After this, you don't get to change." And so then they start talking. I was like, "I'm just kidding," but now we're talking. So.
I had the pleasant experience of workshopping an application in ServiceNow, showing everything that it does, like doing demos and talking through the requirements, and then writing the stories, getting them approved, going to sit down and work on it, and hitting the install button in the customer's instance. And what gets installed is different than what I workshopped and showed them. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, now I gotta like keep all these stories open to explain, like, okay, this is the way it works now because ServiceNow changed it.
Do you know what's even more fun? So when you are fully prepped for go live, all your people have tested everything, but they didn't test everything they said they tested. Like, hey, can I install this plugin in prod without opening a ticket? And you're on the day of go live and they didn't test it.
Yikes.
Super fun. Because then you have to like escalate to their ServiceNow rep to get it expedited. And then you look like a dumbass because like you're the expert.
Right.
And so you should have known, but it's in the release plan. And so then you have to like get mad at your people. Saying you said you tested.
Your customer, you mean, right?
No.
Oh, your people.
Because we're the expert. We should have known that you have to request that plugin versus just being able to install it.
Well, you would be proud of me because I did the plugin installations in one customer, dev and test. I just did them at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I did dev and I went and did test, did dev, and back and forth. But I timed it. So I know exactly how long this should take to get them all done.
But just because you can install it in dev and test doesn't mean you can install it in prod without a ticket.
Oh, I see. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
How do I find out?
You go into prod and see if it'll let you install.
I'm not allowed in prod.
Well, no, it'll tell you like the install button won't be there, and it'll say you must open a ticket.
Okay, I'll have to go double check that because our go live is the 27th. Here's the other thing that happened when I went to move from dev to test. Again, I've done it plenty of times, but things have changed a little bit, and I was pretty meticulous in when I built my groups, roles, and group members about pushing those to the update set.
Yeah.
I go to do everything. I check the update set, it's all there, everything goes fine. I commit everything. None of my users are there. None of my groups are there. And none of my roles are there. The roles are there, but they're just not associated with the groups. And I'm like, what the heck? So I go back and look at the update set. It's like, commit. I'm like, where are they? So I'm like, stumped. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, let me export the XML of one group from dev and just import one into test and see if they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah.
So I import it. And it creates the group with my name, not my name of the group, the group manager, and the description. But then it associates a bunch of users that are not the users I had, a bunch of roles that are not the roles I associated, and in this instance, a bunch of incidents associated with the group. And I'm like, what the actual F? Like, I don't even know what this is. So I told the instance owner, I'm like, FYI, something's up with your test instance. I'm recreating all these by hand, and that's going to be part of our go live is we have to recreate these.
Yay.
Yikes. Yeah, that was gross. Messy. I hate messiness.
Well, you can't, usually data doesn't live in update set, so it usually gets messed up. So
I think something happened with sysids in one environment versus the other. I thought sysids were like a global. Like
if you didn't clone or didn't push them, they won't be in sync, but if you did it that way,
they would be. Yeah, and I don't know what the customer did before I got there, so
exactly.
And there's other vendors. I can see other vendors' names.
Yeah.
In that instance, at least.
I still love when you were telling me that one of your customers was moving update sets by exporting because I told them to.
Yes.
10 years ago.
They literally said, Allison told me to do it this way.
Which I think is hilarious.
And so I messaged Allison. I'm like, what the heck? There's no sources in this instance. Every single update set, this guy manually exports and imports. So I did the same.
Why not?
I did the same.
No, I mean, I told him that 9 years ago? 8 years ago?
A long time ago. In technology years, that's ancient.
Yes, I know. That's what I mean. Like, that was... You couldn't preserve update sets back then.
When you're cloning. Yeah.
So...
I remember the first clone that we did. We lost all our admin accounts because we didn't know about preservation or anything like that at the time. So we're just like, clone it.
They didn't have it back then.
This was 2017.
Yeah, they didn't have the preserve, all that stuff.
Like, we found it, but it wasn't like it is today.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it was not obvious.
Yeah. Oh, the joys of implementing ServiceNow.
I know. Like I said, I can't teach an old dog new tricks, though.
Yes, you can.
I still don't like Flow Designer.
Well, did I tell you? I think I told you what the last release was. What was it, Xanadu? Yeah, Xanadu. That I saw in the release notes, like them migrating ServiceNow flows to Flow Designer.
I know.
And I'm seeing it again in Yokohama, like the ones that were left. All of those are getting migrated. I'm like, this is getting deprecated any day now.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to have my friend check if they're still using Workflows.
The HR friend?
She said, I don't know that you all want me on the podcast. I wouldn't know what to do. I was like, you just talk to us.
We'll guide you sloppily through the podcast. And at some point, find your spirit animal.
No.
I always forget that because I get nervous when we have guests. But you always remember it. And I'm like, thank God you remembered.
Why do you get nervous? It's all people we know, though.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I feel it's imposter syndrome, I guess. It's still always there. You know, like, I'm going to get found out.
I mean, fake it till you make it, right?
I mean, or do the work so you know it, you know. But I don't know. It's just always. I think it's healthy. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
It's me.
That's why I deflect to the animal questions. Then I'll have to talk about tech questions. Like, I talk about animals all day.
But you're good at the tech stuff.
I have imposter syndrome about that. So I feel like I'm more of the intermediary where I can explain in layman's terms more so than I can in the tech terms.
So like an advisory consultant kind
of person? I get it, but I don't want to talk like that. And so like yeah.
I get you. I get what you mean.
Yeah. Which has made me fairly successful because people tell me that I explain things well. So
you do need that translation, and you know that's I think the skill I was good at in pre-sales, even though I didn't like it very much, was I technically understood it.
Yeah.
And then I could articulate it in a way that other non-technical people could understand.
Yeah. I think I told you that one of our customers told me I was his Indiana Jones. And I was like, I don't know if I'm complimented or offended. And he was like, no, it's, Indiana Jones both lived it and taught it. He didn't just teach it. Like, he's done it and was like in the caves. And I was like...
That's right, because he's a professor, right?
Yes. And so I was like, okay.
I'm going to start calling you Indiana Jane.
No. But... It was just funny because I was like, I've heard a lot of things over the years, but that's
yeah, I don't think I would have made that connection with you.
I was just like, thank you. So, no.
What is I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
What is the one thing that really stumped you technically with ServiceNow to where you're like, I need an architect or somebody?
When I first started out, I was at a customer and we were using a partner that was not helpful. And so I had to learn a lot on my own. And back then you did have to code everything, like UI policies, everything had to be coded. And I was a phony developer. I had to learn, I learned it on ServiceNow. Like, so if you need me to go write code outside of ServiceNow, you're looking at the wrong person. Like, if it doesn't have glide record, like, I don't know what to do. And so we had this onboarding workflow that was like a Frankenstein that I built because I didn't know any better. And I show like the partner people and they were like, why'd you do it this way? It's like, because you didn't help me. And they were like, this shouldn't work. And I was like, well, it does. So that one was hard, but I think there was one where I don't do integrations. I tried my hardest to learn them. And like, I had to fake it a lot and had to pull in much smarter people for this. Really, I solutioned it beautifully, but I could not build it. And even my developer was like, Allison, this is crazy. I'm like, just go with me. I can't build it, but I know what I'm saying. And after we built it, he was like, okay, you were right. I was like, I know, but I can't build it. So stuff like that, just that's super, super technical, that's like real in the weeds technical. I always brought much smarter people on the call.
So in that case, you solutioned it, but the other person, the technical person who was going to code it, disagreed that what you solutioned was possible?
Not that it was possible. He was just like, I feel like this is crazy. Like, I feel like it's almost too easy. And I was like, that's how it should be. And so I was like, if I could build it, I would. But
how did you convince them to do it anyways?
I was like, well, I'm the architect and this is how I want to build. Actually, I was a lot nicer.
You pulled rank. Okay.
I'm pretty persuasive when I need to be. So, yeah. But I think the worst, where I feel like I got kind of caught, for lack of a better word, I was on site for a go live. And I loved the customer. They were awesome. And so like they were not rude at all, but they didn't do any testing before I got there for go live. And they decided to do it like the day of. And we were supposed to go live at like 2 a.m. or whatever, because off hours. And I'm like sitting in a conference room with all these defects. And there were some that I'm like, I don't know these, because I didn't build them and they were outside of my area of comfort. And so I was like dancing, like, let me see if I can get some others to divide and conquer so we can get through these quicker.
Yikes.
And I did. And they never found me out till now. But yeah. But what was nice is their boss came in and brought us bottles of wine because we had to work late. He was like, because my people did this, you're getting wine. And I was like,
nice.
Done.
Is that the one you did with Jake?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No, that was a different one. But
I believe you have to go, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Well, it was a great podcast. We learned a lot about AI and Allison and some reality shows.
And your prompting skills.
Prompting skills, yes. We should do a whole podcast on like how to write good prompts.
I think you should. That could be your next live. It's talking to people how to prompt things.
Yeah. Except there's so many people that know better than me. So.
I think you know a lot.
Well, hope you have a great meeting and a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next recording.
Bye.
See ya.